Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and today I thought I would take a look at something. Again, we're going to do a bit of a relic spotlight. This time we're going to be talking about the Fiery Paintbrush. Pardon me. Yeah, I'm still not feeling well, I apologize. And that's also part of the reason why I missed a couple of uploads over the last couple of days, is my stomach has not exactly been doing better. So fortunately, I do have an appointment coming up to hopefully figure out what the problem is, so I can get better going forward. Anyway, I do apologize. It's not my intention to keep you guys waiting on content. It's not really feeling good. That's just kind of how that goes. I'm just feeling very bleh. Alright, so with this particular build, it'd probably be best to just start at Atlas, get his level out of the way, and then go from there. Except for the living courtyards don't want to show up. Hi, I'm trying. There we go. Let's rock. And then with Shu being third, unfortunately, my kind of semi-Earth-centric setup is suddenly looking not so good. But you have very little control over that. You just have to work with the hand you're dealt. There we go. It should also explain why I'm being kind of semi-quiet right now, because for some reason things have not been going the way that I had anticipated. Ugh. So, Fiery Paintbrush. What is the deal with the Fiery Paintbrush? Well, the way that the Arcana itself or relic itself is worded, each Fire Arcana unlocked increases the chance of dealing double damage, Bimmy and Jimmy. Basically, it's part of a cycle of relics that all do something based upon the number of elemental Arcana of each type unlocked. There is one relic per element. There's the Fiery Paintbrush, I believe it's the Electrifying Smock, Sturdy Wooden Easel, Watercolor Palette, and the one for Wind. I unfortunately forget its name, but... So that cycle of relics actually had me confused. It made me think... The way it was worded made me initially think, okay, so this is increasing the chances for this happening for each Arcana of that element, and no, that's not the case. There we go. It's simply counting how many you unlocked in general. So it's more so about progress on the Arcana collection than anything else. I know some of you knew that better than I did, but I figured I would explain because that's part of my personal history with these relics. God, I hate these guys. And I hate poison. Okay, oh, what do we have here? You definitely take the Amulet of Sundering of this lot. Pardon me. For what it's worth, I am just waking up, and I did not sleep well, so you'll have to forgive me a little bit. Oh, smooth. So, what it boils down to is that there is a pretty legit 19% chance of any Arcana used doing double damage, and it's generally denoted by when your character releases a burst of flame. Problem with Blazing Blitz is that it tends to lock you in place. Good for bosses, not for really anything else. But definitely take the 2 upgrades that I can get. And I love Tidal Blast, but can't really afford it right now. And that's one of my favorite things about Bubble Slaps, is the barrier that you get after you upgrade it. It lets you basically just eat through things and continue to smash into people. It's a very good Arcana upgrade. There we go. So some of the choices made for this were actually very deliberate, such as using the, I believe it's called Tempo, but I'm going to double check. Yep, using the Tempo robe to increase my speed. And cooldown, because cooldowns are a problem that I tend to have, as I made a bad habit of more or less ignoring cooldowns. And yes, I know it's easy enough to see when your cooldowns are over, but I'm not that smart, leave me alone. But more importantly, what it means is that this robe is an important robe. Well, it emphasizes the value on movement speed and, more importantly, positioning. Ugh, man. That was an example of poor positioning, so you see it's doing its job. And even though it doesn't look like the Terror Ring is extending beyond the actual ground, it was still hitting out there, so that's something to remember when using Terror Ring. There we go, perfect. Like I said, each of the Arcana that I'm using is especially dependent on good positioning, so that is why I chose this robe, because it puts an emphasis on that. But also, it notably has no attack power boosts. So I wanted to take it just to show that the paintbrush by itself is a very powerful tool. Here we go. So this is another good positioning tool, and it's Fire Element, which will help me out against Shu. So the Blazing Vault will not only be a good tool for handling Shu, but again, I do have a particular soft spot for Jump Arcana, which let you not only avoid enemy attacks and come in swinging, but, well, I mean, that's it. They let you avoid enemy attacks and allow you to come in with an attack of your own, so you get a beautiful kind of 2-for-1 effect there. And I don't know. I think they're quite worthwhile. Blazing Vault is one of the what I like to call short hop arcana. The difference being more stated if you look at spells like Thunder Drop, which have you go way high into the air for their effect. In comparison, Blazing Bolt and Seismic Entry don't have that same high jump. They just have, like, in comparison, a short hop, even though in this case a short hop is like, what, 10, 15 feet in the air? Ooh, I love Surefire Rocket. Alright, and were there any Cursed Arcana? God, that'll be a trip if they ever decide to make any of those. No, I'd better not take any of those. Even though Vampire's Fangs would actually help a great deal in keeping the Idealist Vest active. It's a 15% boost if I do it that way. But is it a good idea, seeing as I'm not exactly playing at a very high level right now? I don't know. I don't know how much I trust myself. And that's what I mean by it being both a good offensive and defensive tool. The point I'm getting at with my robe doesn't have any natural attack power bonuses is even without the attack power bonuses, you can still see that the paintbrush is incredibly effective at getting work done. Basically what it boils down to is 19% of the time, I'm getting a plus 100% attack boost, and that's huge. Like, that's the sort of thing that completely swings games. I'm talking as if I were playing Magic the Gathering. What is wrong with me? I'm just gonna save my money. Like, I don't trust myself to play perfectly enough to have the Idealist Vest active. Ugh, see? I guess that's not saying much. It's probably just a simple mistake. And I should not be so hard on myself for making just simple mistakes. There we go. Exploding Fireball? Why not? A ranged option never hurt anybody. Alright, so now we have to take what we have and essentially power our way through Freya's level, and then the 2 Fire Arcana that I picked up will be a huge help against Shoot. Oh, Fountain Pen. Yay! That would have been a really cool move had anything happened. Okay, so Pazu's favorite hat is a maybe. Let's see what Arcana are for sale, because I still have spot 7 open for something more situational. The problem with taking a Charge Arcana on your off slot, though, is that you're rarely... If you don't... Well, it's not even rarely. If you don't find the upgrade, then what you've got is difficult to get to work. Yeah, as you can see with whenever the paintbrush is active, things, even if they're resistant to the element that I'm using, they pretty much just melt. And there's a reason why, and probably not just me, but there's a reason why I almost always take the paintbrush when I see it. It's just that effective. It's consistent, it's powerful, it can turn just about any run into just a power stomp run, and that is why I love the Fiery Paintbrush. And it might not seem like 19% is much, and keep in mind, that's after unlocking every Fire Arcana in the game. So that's got to be thinking, well, that's what, 1 out of every 5 times that it works, roughly speaking? I mean, that doesn't sound consistent to me. Here's the thing about that, though. Okay, fucking Elemental Lancer. I didn't want to fight him in that room because fucking magical nitroglycerin barrels. You know, the ones being illegally ordered and shipped because Sura has a love of explosions. He spent too much time watching Michael Bay movies, I suspect. Look, if I didn't make that joke, someone else would. And on the point of Blazing Vault... Oh, hello. So... the thing here that's really catching my attention is the Crimson Clover. Now, I know Double Trouble is a huge damage boost, but part of the problem that I have with it is that the enemies also get that huge damage boost. And think about when I took that hit from the Tectonic Drill against Brain Freeze Atlas. That would have gone from doing 97 damage to doing 184. That is no small amount, and that would have been pretty much... would have been nearly game over right there. So that is something you should only take if you have a way of mitigating the damage, because it's... even though you've got a huge damage bonus coming yourself, it can really throw you off. With Crimson Clover, you get plus 15% to your critical hit rate. The enemies also get that plus 15%, but that's the thing, 15% for them doesn't come up very often because, real honestly, the enemies should not be hitting you all that often. If they're hitting you often enough for that 15% to make a difference, which, granted, sometimes it does, I won't lie. And we'll take Auditor's Talisman. No, that's unfair of me to say. You're not making a huge mistake if you're getting hit that often. Sometimes it just happens. Sometimes you get cornered and curb stomped by a couple of ghouls. There's unfortunately little that can be done about that, as their frame data is ridiculous. Not as ridiculous as Rogues, but still. And the thing is, Even if I hadn't found any other damage bonuses at all this run, the paintbrush by itself would have been enough to carry the entire run. That's just how good the paintbrush is. And what you just witnessed there was a serious pro-level strat. I don't recommend trying that for yourself unless you're really confident. And that is one of the reasons why I love bubble slaps. So, Lotus Froststone will probably be what I take, but I want to see what else is available to spend my money on first. Oh, this goddamn room. Come on, you Cyclopean horror. Oh, what? Missed it, but I swear I had him. No. For what it's worth, though, the bricks that I hit were looking at me funny. And I would argue because of the additional effect of Blazing Vault, where the initial burst that sends you up into the air also does damage, I would say that is also a good fit for a very, good positioning based run like this, because alright, so that I should save for the end. There we go. I don't want to change my basic, but thank you. We haven't found Iris yet. That's awkward. Is this a dead end? Man, glad I noticed that first. That isn't completely embarrassing or anything. Nice. So, Dark Sage, what made you start wanting to do relic spotlights? I mean, there are plenty of Arcana I can look at. I'm far from done. There's all sorts of content just waiting to be made. So, don't think that I'm running out of stuff to talk about. No, this is just what happened to be on my mind. Oh, hey, Fiery Paintbrush. That's really good. I wonder if I've taken the time to really talk about this before. Also, Cadby's Raw Chocolate will synergize very well with Stone Shot. There we go. Alright, taking a little too much damage. My projectiles destroy other projectiles. And they kind of did that anyway, but alright, that works out very nicely for Stone Shot, because I have lots of projectiles. I am basically a machine gun. There we go. And here comes her ultimate. There we go. Pro move right there. And the whip. I like it, but I am going to stick with Stone Shot because it synergizes a little bit better with the raw chocolate. And as we all know, traditionally, Shu... Oh, hey, look at that! So this actually gives me a chance to talk about another synergy in the game. So earlier I picked this up, which is going to improves my critical hit chance, but also makes it so that the enemies can score critical hits against me with greater regularity. However, with the Puffy Parka on, they can't hit me with any critical hits, which means that the Crimson Clover is all upside from here on out. Oh, well, hello. That's going to affect 2 of my Arcana, and definitely seems like a better fit for my run than that, which is currently doing nothing. I don't know, I think right now the better option is to just not get hit. So focus on evasion and not powering through. And actually what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take this because I'm close to full health. If I don't make a bunch of really stupid mistakes, which I just did because, you know, everything sucks. But as you can see, all of those evades were them supposedly hitting me with critical hits, but nothing happening. There we go. It's a shame to have to abandon that attack partway through, but I've already taken enough stupid damage, let me not take even more. Electric wind, electric wind. I don't even have any wind, so I can't do that, but... There we go. Thank you, Paintbrush. And even though it's not necessarily important, I do really like the flavor of the Paintbrush. It gives you the idea that you're using fire as ink and the world is your canvas. Oh, it's so cool. For some reason, I thought that was a dead end. And yeah, it might not necessarily be an important thing to talk about, as the effect of the relic is generally more important than the flavor of it, but the flavor of it is just so cool. It makes me think of Amaterasu and Okami. And it seems rather fitting to me, a suitably powerful effect for a suitably powerful being, don't you think? There we go. And Grand Summoner, alright. Smooth. Sure, I'm glad I did that. Absorption Coil. And it's gonna do more for me than the Idealist Vest. Because with the Idealist Vest, I don't know, I just can't help but get hit. I am magnetized to blocking attacks with my forehead. Good morning, bird. How are you, buddy? Little Cecil over here is kind of curious as to what I'm doing. Okay, I am getting just manhandled here. Not even upset with anyone but myself. I shouldn't be taking such bad damage. Which, when your run is highly dependent on good positioning, it's easy to tell when your positioning is off. Fortunately, I'm not at a shortage of cash. I see two things over there I want. I see the heavy travel jacket. Ah. And I see a health potion. So I think I will first grab the heavy travel jacket. And what do I drop for that? It's actually a good question. I suppose the chocolate, as that's more of an added benefit sort of thing, whereas the heavy travel jacket will, in all likelihood, it'll actually probably save my ass. Like I said, I am not playing well right now, so having the additional armor is a big help. So it's basically 1% per relic in your relic slots. That does mean that, yeah, for the most part, it's only going to be blocking a couple of damage per hit. But that adds up. Oops. I made oops. Perfect. There we go, starting to look a little healthier now. And you can see the damage starting to add up between the Ancient Fountain Pen and when the Fiery Paintbrush activates. Really? What kind of a massive damage-dealing fireball are you if you're being stopped by things like thin air? Aren't you supposed to be effective against air elemental enemies anyway? God. I think I overpaid for that fireball. But Darkseid, you got it for free! And that would be the joke, thank you. Iris, Iris, Iris. Yes. Alright. Let's start by going south. Well, that was worth it. Here's another combat room. Alright, now I've already been east, so let's go north. Ooh, I see Thundering Chain. That could actually be very effective after Shu. And it's no substitute for something like Bouncing Bubble or... Have I mentioned that I don't like elemental archers? Because it seems relevant at the moment. Like I was saying, Thundering Chain is not a substitute for an actual bounce arcana. Of course. But it does do a good amount of damage in just a straight trampling line, and that is sometimes worth all the difference in the world. Well, isn't that lovely? I am really not playing well today. Really? Oh, hey, look at that. Wow, I just suck today. This is a terrible performance for me. Like, even taking into account the idea that Shu is pretty much the hardest of the council members, like, this is just a sad, sad performance for me. Hello, Blurring Falconry. Thinking. There we go. I think that's going to be better for me in the long run. You know what, maybe not, because that felt awkward. I got used to having the old bounce. So I'm gonna hold on to it. All right. There we go. That's feeling a little bit better. Alright, anything last minute we can pick up that would actually be worth a damn? Not really. Not really at all. You can probably hear my stomach complaining right now. I'm trying not to draw attention to it, but yeah, it's uncomfortable. It's exactly as uncomfortable as it sounds. Alright, calm down. Okay, we got him. Got a little overzealous there. There we go. Oh, you can see the sort of damage that we got when the paintbrush activated alongside that. Oh, that wasn't smart. I made it stupid. Oh, jeez. How does he have that deep of a voice? Such a small person. Ugh. Good lord. Alright, so no, I was not performing well, but again, take that as a sign to the power of the paintbrush. I was taking a lot of stupid damage, like to the point where I felt that I needed Pazu's favorite hat. And he still came out on top and, you know, smelling fairly fresh on the other side. Save for what my stomach would have you think. So take that for what it's worth. The paintbrush is definitely a top-tier relic, and it fits well into just about any build. Power builds, obviously, it shines because you'll be throwing up hits of over 100 damage with regularity. Well, what about in critical hit builds? Well, look at it this way: if the bouncing bubbles hit for about 5 a pop, so imagine what happens when they hit for 10 a pop, and they score a critical hit on top of that. Chef's kiss. Alright, so that is it for the episode. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, subscribe to the channel. I put out new videos as regularly as my health will allow, apparently. Do me a favor and drop me a like, leave me a comment, you know, the usual YouTube dance. And links to my social media are in the description. I will now cut it there and go get my laundry done. Once again, thank you for spending some of your free time with me. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and I will be seeing you